we tend to be a little more paranoid because I'm sure Pooja and Dhanya also speak to some of our, colleagues within the news ecosystem, not with necessarily organizations, who are either living in Noida or parts of UP, who are a little more careful than our friends who are in the south for saying the same thing. Because ye yogi sarkar hai, hum par FIR ho jayegi, something or the other will happen. Whereas in the south, they say the tradition is not, you don't hold your punches that much. Is that because the governments in the south and the government of the center have been different for the last several decades, and usually one goes at the government in the center? Or that's just a perception that people are scared of, but the danger is the same across the country?
Yeah, I definitely do feel safer than perhaps a journalist who works in Uttar Pradesh. But I wouldn't say that everybody feels safe the same way. There are some privileges which a few journalists will have, a few will not have. I think a small danger, a big enough danger which I see in the south especially, is that there is this one notion that if you criticize, for example, a CPM government or a DMK government beyond a certain point, then you could make way for the BJP to come. So a lot of liberal media does feel like we shouldn't overdo it, because then if we keep on criticizing these people, then what will happen? Cases we are now seeing, Abhinandan, we are seeing here also. For example, in Telangana, we have been seeing cases. Kerala, there was a spurt of cases initially. Now I think it's mostly against this one journalist. I mean, the government would not call him journalist. He's the editor and owner of this magazine called Marunad and Malayali. So we are seeing, but overall, yeah. Do I feel safer? Definitely do. At the end of the day, we can have conversations with whoever is in government, right? Whether it's the Congress, DMK, CPIM, we can debate with them. I have had quarrels with so many ministers I would see on any fest or any event, saying that why did you guys file this case, or why did you use criminal defamation? Because as a party, you say that you don't, believe in that. But I don't think that is something that you would be able to do in, let's say, in Uttar Pradesh when a case is filed against someone. Pooja, you have...
No, I think how journalists are treated in any state, any country, is a reflection of the political culture of that place, right? So in that sense, the so-called tyranny of distance has in some sense shielded us, I feel, because in my previous jobs, I saw that my colleagues who are reporting from northern states are far more careful, and the same people, when they come to report in the south, would feel a little more emboldened, I'd say. And they were almost jealous of us. I'm not saying it's uniform across South. Telangana, Andhra, they have had these problems because, regional parties, we have had leaders who want to be more autocratic. That has been there in these two states. But I want to just share one incident that happened many years ago with Siddaramaiah, who was the chief minister then, his first term. I was with a channel that was running a campaign against him, criticizing him rather unfairly, I must add, calling him poster child of arrogance and what have you. And he was at a hotel. I was standing and doing my lives just outside, and I was supposed to meet him. And his PA told me that he's very upset with the lines used by the channel and all of that. I said, okay, what can I do? I walked up to him, I shook hands, and I said, I heard you're upset. He said, you first sit. And he said, what do you want to eat and all of that? I said, nothing. He said, listen, I know you're doing your job. I know I'm doing my job. And yeah, we won't agree on everything. That's the whole point of your job. And I think that has been the culture in at least Karnataka. And I see that even the present BJP, with exceptions of, I'll take names here, like, for example, Basavaraj Bommai refused to speak to me after a point when he used to text and call before that, because I was critical of him. But the current BJP, Yediyurappa, his son, a lot of people are still democratic as opposed to their colleagues in other states, especially northern states. So I'd say, if you have to look at South as a whole, probably we are slightly better. But there is a trend where, our politicians are aping.
Not just slightly.
Yeah, but
when it comes to cases, and seizing mobile phones, I think the police across all states behave the same way.